Title is correct. I do have almost half a Bitcoin. Let's just get into it. Um, the numbers were too good, right? 21 million, 6 to 8 million lost, countries buying Bitcoin, Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, BlackRock, Fidelity, was it Van Ark, all these companies buying Bitcoin. The state that I live in buying Bitcoin, even though I was buying the Bitcoin before that. So this will just be kind of a quick video of me explaining kind of my situation again. Um, I was in the last bull run. I turned, it was like 1,500 of Dogecoin into about 8 grand, and then it went down. Before that, I did have a bunch of Dogecoin, but at the time it wasn't worth anything, so I ended up selling it. But either way, that me buying Tesla years ago, on Robinhood back in 2019, making a couple bucks, but being involved in the market just kind of taught me, I was dipping my feet in when I didn't even know that. And then it did come to a point where I found a better job. I started working there, a factory job, and I have a certain way of how I do things. I don't like to carry a bunch of cash, I guess, not carry per se, but like a bunch of cash in my bank accounts. I don't know if it's paranoia. Maybe I feel like my money's not working hard enough for me. Never really cared for the idea of a savings account. So as I started to make money, I had a little bit of crypto. It was more kind of joke crypto, meme coins and stuff, because I only had $1,000 at the time. But once I started making good money, and my bills are really cheap, actually, they're not as insane as one would think, maybe, but after I started making good money, I had to make a decision, because where was I gonna store this money, right? I wasn't gonna just hold on to it. I had previously seen in the other bull runs how things went up in price so much, so I started to play around. I was buying a little bit of ETH, a little bit of Bitcoin, still some other crap. But in my head, I was like, I guess the best place to store it is Bitcoin. Although I knew I had a task ahead of me, I figured that I could eventually get to a big number of Bitcoin, and that alone will propel me to the top, because I am a force to be reckoned with. I can compete with the big boys, per se, or not per se, or so to speak, if I just dump all my money into my assets into Bitcoin. Now, I have been buying other assets and stuff. I don't really want to get into that either, so it's gonna be too much to talk about, but basically I focused on Bitcoin. And at the time, Bitcoin was actually around 30,000, I believe, when I really started just only buying Bitcoin. Actually, I looked back on it, and I mean, this doesn't really matter to you guys, but it looks like the first big deposit I did was on my birthday a couple years ago, or a few years ago. I don't know what it was. Either way, ever since that point, I've seen me adding it to my wallet and stuff, and really building a balance. But I guess there was a huge luck aspect, right? I got a job at the perfect time that was paying good money. I honed in on it when it was relatively cheap. And I was persistent, because I didn't want to hold on to my money in the bank account, because it was just sitting there in my eyes. And I feel like that's what's really got me there. A lot of watching YouTube videos as well. I also want to explain that I don't have a family. I'm single. So this was for me I guess, some type of weird coping mechanism where I knew, at least if I buy this, I'll be in a really good financial spot for when I do meet that person or X, Y, and Z. And in a strange way, it was like kind of how I would deal with my problems is by buying more crypto. Now, I don't think that's really a good idea, but it was what I did at the time. And still, to this day, even, I still buy assets, and it's like, sometimes I just want to chill out, you know. But this is the life I live. These are the reasons why I am where I am. And I do the things I do because, I guess because I'm alone, I need to preoccupy myself with bettering myself. And that's pretty much it. I do have other cryptos and stuff. If you know me on this channel, then you know that. But that's pretty much why I have so much Bitcoin. There's a lot of cool things with Bitcoin you can do, obviously. I've been finding out a lot more about Bitcoin loans and stuff and different things. I do also own one full Ethereum. That's not as shocking, but it is on the grand scheme of things because that'll only play into, I guess, how well off I'll be. I don't know what I'm saying here, but either way, that's kind of the reason why I have so much crypto and blah, blah, blah. And let me be honest, I have almost half a Bitcoin. It's not a full half, but it's close enough to where it's like, dude, come on. So, but either way, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video or whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you want some free crypto, check out the links in my channel bio, blah, blah, blah. Peace.